fall winter is a perfect time to bundle up, get cozy, and just live your best layered life. Today we're going to be talking about the outerwear for fall winter 2023-2024. If you're interested, keep watching. Hey guys, my name is Maria and welcome to Design or Design. Today we're going to be talking about the fall winter trends. I know fall is already here. I'm sorry. I'm going to be discussing all of the outerwear, whether it's coats, jackets, blazers, pretty much it, that appeared on the runways, and I'll discuss maybe how they're being styled in the shows. Anyways, let's get started. I hate the long intros. Let's just do it. The first trend that I'm going to be talking about are the shearlings. So that is basically like a jacket or a coat with like the inside of it being fuzzy and the outside being not fuzzy. So that can be either like leather jackets with some fuzziness coming out on like the collar or the lapels, or it could be something with the seams having that puffiness sticking out when it's sewn and the inside is puffy. It can be different lengths we've seen on the runways for this, whether with longer coats, maybe something on a shorter side. Definitely we've seen some cropped jackets like this, as well as a hip length jacket. I feel like this trend is the most wearable out of basically almost anything that is going to be there, just because the warmth is on the inside, maybe the fuzziness is appearing on the color of your garment, but it's not gonna soak up as much like rain or snow or whatever comes your way. You'll be super warm and it's going to be super classy. About the colors, there were pretty much only the really natural, neutral colors, maybe like browns, maybe like beiges. There were like 3 or 4 looks that had yellow, completely yellow ones. So maybe that's a trend, I don't know, like if you really like it. We have this kind of a style both in the more classical outfits as well as more street style wears as well. I feel like this jacket is very wearable and can stand the test of time. I don't think these jackets or these coats can age at all. Yes, we're looking at it, maybe we're having 70s flashback or something along the lines, but it's still relatively timeless. I really like many of the stylistic choices that brands have taken, and as I mentioned, the length. Let's talk about the volume. We see both more tighter ones, or we had more of a really wide, over-exaggerated ones, but we'll talk about them in a little bit. Along with the shearling, so kind of like a fuzzy, kind of almost like a sheep one, we have more like a furry ones as well. Anyways, let's move on to quilted. I've talked about this in my textures video, and here it is again. I feel like this quilting effect is a very great way of having a little bit of warmth. This is a perfect transition coat for some people who live in more colder areas. For people who live in the warmer areas, it might be a good like evening jacket situation. So it's not super hot, it's not super cold. We've seen this in a variety of textures, but usually it's more like a classic materials, having them either kind of a wavy stitching or maybe squared ones. So let's continue into like a puffer coat, because it's kind of like a quilted thing. We do see a few of them, so this is taking us into more warmer zone, and mostly we've seen them being on a sportier side. Well, like just because a puffer, just how else are you gonna think about it? Have we seen this in more classy looks? Sure, Julia Sanders right here, very feminine looks with like a dress underneath, and it has like a waistline effect as well. Also, Undercover had a few pretty cool ones, and Diesel, Dion Lee, yeah, Dion Lee even had blow up ones. Not sure how those work for the winter. Let's talk about scarves. So one of the trends for sure are like these very crazy, outrageous or large scarves. Sometimes they are on their own, which is basically an accessory, but we do see a few shows that have the scarf thing as an attachment to a garment. So it's kind of like either made of the same material as the coat, so it appears like it's one piece, or it actually is one piece with these kind of a longer strips that you can wrap around your neck. I feel like this is a really cool design that is very useful, because I for sure I'm always like, oh no, I forgot my scarf, and I have the whole entire neck open. And yeah, so it's pretty cool idea. Next one up are the Blouson. I have no idea how to pronounce this jacket, but it's basically kind of like just a regular jacket, but it has like a pointed color to it, I guess, something resembling like a button-up shirt, but in a jacket format and like more stable. So something like a jean jacket that we're seeing here in Versace, or it's being made out of different materials. We definitely see it almost everywhere. Is this like super hot trend? I don't think so, but you can see how it's being styled, and it's part of that 2023, I guess, style. We see them being cropped, like in Stella McCartney. We see them being of just like irregular length that they usually come in, something more like a hip length, or maybe like fingertip length, I guess. We see it in leathers, we see it in denim, we see it even in like more fluffier, furrier types as well, or even maybe like wool jackets and coats. I feel like this is a very classical jacket that is not heavily trendy, but it's a very nice classical staple to any closet. All right, let's move on to long coats. Okay, so they were everywhere. The longer, the better. Usually the length was either maxi length or like ankle length, or even a floor length. So I do love this trend. This creates a very long silhouette, which stretches you out significantly. One thing that I need to mention is for people who live in a wetter climate, such as myself living in British Columbia, they're not the greatest, especially with their floor length. Okay, so maybe decide to get an ankle length coat instead, just so you don't ruin the bottom of it. Oh my goodness. So I've already discussed this in the previous season. I remember I was talking about it, and I was saying that usually longer coats come back during recessions, and I was kind of joking around that, oh, look at me, I can afford fabric. And one of you guys had a comment, I can't find it now, but it was so cool and like really insightful that during recession or like these hard times, we want to cover ourselves, kind of create a cocoon of some sort to shield ourselves from the problems of the outside world. And that is why we have longer coats being more popular. I feel like that's such a cool idea, and it really does make sense. And that is why I love fashion, because it's not just an island on its own, it's always connected to something else. And yeah, I love this trend. I have a thrifted white coat that is being eaten by moths. I love it so much, but now I need to figure out what to do with those like little tiny holes. I'm thinking of like embroidery or maybe like beadwork on those spots. So kind of like that Japanese art form of binding the cracked or broken things with gold. I think it's gonna be a really cool idea to like give it more, you know, excitement, more attention, more detail. Anyway, so we see a lot of these coats in leather. So we're seeing all these leather ones. You guys, this probably is faux leather as more and more companies try to avoid real leather for a multitude of reasons. I think that we kind of had this trend already, and some of you might already have a leather coat. I have thrifted one. It's like more of a grungy men's style, almost like, I think like a biker coat even from the 90s. I love it. My husband hates it, but he sometimes steals it from me. We also see some of the distressed looks on the runways, and I've spoken about those distressed trends in the texture video. So if you've missed that one, make sure to check it out. It's gonna be in the description box below. Like this Maison Margiela coat that has the appearance of it being moldy, but in reality it's been treated, or like I think I've heard somebody talk about it, that it's a very time-consuming process of creating this look of a mold, but it's not mold. Now we're seeing furs on the runways. Are they real? Are they not? I guess you need to do a deeper dive into the particular runway show, particular brand, but mostly I feel like there would be faux furs unless the company has really deep rooted fur as the part of their DNA. For instance, Fendi. We also see these plush teddy coats and variety of sizes as well. And here we have some red ones, which is basically the color of the season. All right, let's get into moto jackets slash biker jackets. I feel like they're very on the same kind of a level. So we're seeing right now different ones. Sometimes they're like, for instance, here, oversized. Sometimes they are more fitted to the person, like in Mugler, for instance, for women's side. JW Anderson had a purple one, Rock had more of like an orangish one, Jill Sander white. So plethora of colors and textures as well, but most of them were definitely leather type. Not sure if it's real or not, okay? Don't come for me, I didn't design these. Diesel had very like destroyed ones, also very distressed looks. I feel like these could be found so easily in any thrift store. Like I have found already a few for myself, and I love it. Like you're saving environment from this potential garment that's going to be sitting in a landfill, and you're saving money and you're getting quality too. So anyways, I'm a thrifter. I have a problem. Well, in D Squared, we also have these jackets on more like flamboyant, really colorful ones. Okay, moving on to the bomber jacket. Another very sporty, very kind of a transitional jacket, I would say as well. We've seen this jacket being dominantly on the men's wear for a few seasons now, and it's kind of trickling down into women's fashion as well. Once again, we have them cropped, we have them tight, we have them loose and long. It completely up to your style or maybe your body type. Like for instance, for me, I do need to have my waist showing, or I will be just a sack of potatoes. I am more on like a pear slash hourglass shape, so I do need to show off my waistline. So for those of you who are in the same boat, then cropped blazers, cropped jackets are perfect. If you have more of a rectangular shape or reverse triangle, then you can definitely have something that ends on your hips to kind of exaggerate them, create a line there, and it's not gonna ruin your silhouette in total. If you're enjoying this content so far, please consider to like this video, leave me a nice little comment, and if you're not already, please do subscribe. It helps me out in so many ways that it's just, yeah, please do it. Thank you. Oversized trend. Okay, so we have plenty of oversized blazers. We love them. Yes, please. We also have like oversized jackets. We're looking at leather right now, so yeah, a lot of oversized jackets, oversized blazers, oversized coats, something with very structured shoulder. We see this for a few seasons now, and I love this trend. If you're following me on Instagram, pretty much I always wear a blazer. If like I don't wear a blazer, I feel like I'm naked, and oversized blazers are my thing. If I ever go to a thrift store, this is the first place I go to, is the men's suit section, and I pretty much cannot leave a thrift store without buying a men's blazer. And I think to myself, oh, I'm gonna like upcycle it, I'm gonna like cut it up, I'm gonna do this, that, and then they're just hanging in my closet. I did change 2 of them. I did crop them, and I love them. I wear them all the time. Anyways, so blazers, oversized. If you have a partner in your life that is bigger than you, pretty sure you can just steal their blazers and not go into debt and try to buy your own. Or like myself, go thrifting if you need something altered. Like it's so easy. If you can't do it yourself, go to a seamstress. If you just thrifted it, it's just gonna come out to be like a price from a regular store, and it was made to your measurements. So anyways, we see them being styled in more like a classical way, with maybe like a pair of trousers, or having kind of a mixture of feminine and masculine as well. The shoulders are definitely on a larger size, whether we're talking about Yves Saint Laurent or some other shows. We have the shoulders. Dress Van Noten here, like that suit is way bigger, like 2-3 sizes bigger than the models. And I really love this trend. For some people are saying that, oh no, this makes me too masculine. I feel like it's so fun to mix up the masculine and feminine energies in an outfit. It creates more interest, more kind of like a backstory. It's like, oh, is this somebody's blazer? Ooh, is that, I don't know, what else? I'm not living a very interesting life, you guys. Prada here with very flowy structured skirts. We see Miu Miu with so many blazers in an oversized size. Louis Vuitton, and both for girls and guys, we see this oversized trend for all. Balenciaga, Balmain, Gucci, like so many of these, and like being either on their own or in a suit format, having like the same bottoms. As I mentioned, Yves Saint Laurent having like the entire show was rocking these crazy oversized shoulders. I love this look, but it kind of needs to have, it's a more of a reverse triangle look where you have really broad shoulders and everything below it is very small, very tiny. Feel like a lot of people can pull off this big of a shoulder, but if your shoulder isn't like a more bigger than your hips, then maybe you are not meant for this trend. For instance, I have big hips. For me, I would need to have such enormous shoulders that it's just going to be really difficult for me to find anything that would create that silhouette. Okay, moving forward, we have really large shoulders in coats as well. Lots of coats. We are seeing some of these here, but sometimes they didn't have to be super structured. All right, so we're seeing this shift of them being kind of on a wider side, but kind of crumbling on their own weight, or maybe the design itself is more rounded. Although the jacket or the blazer or coat is big, the design itself is kind of a circular, sloped shoulders, not super structured. Okay, I'm repeating myself now. Maison Margiela had these very oversized extra jackets or coats, I guess, in very bright colors. Louis Vuitton had these sloping circular jacket format as well, especially in Courageous, we see this detail of like actually the pattern of the jacket itself was created in order to make this thing. And they have kind of like slits, so you don't have to even put your hands in those sleeves, which is a pretty cool idea. Etra also had a few of these jackets where they're oversized, but the shoulders are kind of just rolled down and they're lower than the shoulder itself, where it's like a natural shoulder. Let's move on to, I guess we're talking about volume. Let's continue. So we have volume being created by the texture of the garments itself. So maybe it's kind of a bunch of materials, maybe it's ruffles like here and undercover. I really like this outfit, maybe not the print itself, like maybe this one, but not the weird web thing, I don't know. Anyways, we have it maybe made up of feathers, maybe of fur. Actually, did you guys know that there's something going on with the feather situation? So maybe we are not going to be seeing feathers on the runways. Yeah, let me know what's happening. I haven't really gone deep. I just heard it from somewhere and now I'm telling you. Anyways, furs, non-furs, faux furs, basically really voluminous garments because of the texture, as I mentioned. We see it in many colors, so it's like an extra, definitely more of a statement piece of an outfit for sure. So it can be either in very classical colors, which is still going to be a statement, or it can be in a very fun, bright color. So fun, bright colors are a little, I don't want to say tricky, but if you love it, if that's your color and it matches with everything in your closet, go for it. But if it's just like an out there color that is going to get very annoying, or like it's too visible, you know what I mean? Like you can't make a statement too many times. So if you're kind of that person who is thinking, oh, like I wore this last Tuesday, I can't wear it for another year because it's so bright, then maybe not get it. Or maybe if your style is very colorful, very out there, and wearing the same coat many times would not really create that much of attention just because you wear color all the time, then yes, go for it. Anyways, we've only seen color in a few shows like Gucci and a few more, but it's completely up to you. Of course, with the re-emergence of quiet luxury, we see a lot of more tailored blazers as well. Not only blazers, coats as well. But right now, looking at blazers, we have them like more of an hourglass, having very significant attention on the waistline. Something like the Dior silhouette, I would say. So having the blazer accentuate the waistline, maybe because of having bigger shoulders, having this very nice elegant waistline, and kind of tapering out at the bottom as well. We also see this in Jill Sanders, Lanvin. Many shows decided to have this, and this is a very flattering situation. You can create it maybe by belting your outfits if the blazer is soft enough and malleable enough, I guess. You can create this by belting your coats. It is a very easy situation to have, and I feel like many of us might already have something in the closet like this before the oversized trend happened, you know? I know for sure that I do. I have a blazer like that, so I'm gonna be definitely wearing it out for sure. The outfits for these were definitely more classy. They were definitely like there was no crazy extreme experimentation with these. Maybe they were in a print, maybe they had a bright color, okay, but other than that, they were mixed with very classical, maybe wide leg trousers maybe a skirt or a dress. Nothing too crazy. Looking at the runways, I just totally see Dior all over. Doesn't even matter if it's Dior or not. We also see Versace having these coats with that accent on the waistline. And sometimes the waistline isn't really there, but it's just kind of created because of the volume, as I mentioned. We also have these hourglass blazers in Balmain, Alexander McQueen, of course, beautiful tailoring. Like, oh my goodness, I would love to be up there. Alexander McQueen is my spirit animal. Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyways, Gucci, belted, Dres Van Noten, structured. We have maybe a cropped blazer or some kind of a cropped situation to highlight that waistline. All right, you guys, this completes my video about the outerwear trends. Let me know down in the comments below, what is your go-to winter coat or jacket, or what you have it. For me, it's the puffer that goes like to the ground. I feel like I'm so cozy in it. It is like being in a very comfortable sleeping bag, and I get compliments all the time on it, and I have two now. I'm so happy. I'm beyond belief happy with them. Anyways, if you enjoyed this content, please consider to like it. If you're not already following, please do so. It helps me out so much. The fact that before I became a YouTuber, I was like, oh, they just want the number, blah, blah, blah. No, you guys, it actually makes YouTube algorithm turning and be like, oh, this content is pretty good, so I'm gonna show it to somebody else. And I'm trying to grow my channel. It will help me out so much to decide what I want to do with this channel. Should I continue? Should I pause it for now while my life is too busy? Or maybe I can potentially cut something out of my life in order to concentrate on YouTube, such as work. Thank you very much for spending this time with me. I am looking forward to seeing you again soon. And oh yes, if you would like to see my outfits from day to day, today I'm wearing a really cool outfit, so you can go and check it out on my Instagram. It's gonna be live by then for sure. I'm wearing I'm trying to, oh, like, this is too small. Okay, I'm wearing a vest and I'm trying to pair it with as many things as I can now. It's like, I knew I bought this and now it's like sparked my closet creativity for sure. So I'm wearing it to school most of the times. Anyways, check out my Instagram, subscribe. If you want to say hello to me there, I'll say hello back. Hope you're gonna have an amazing rest of the day, and yeah, stay classy. Bye.